Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, the ousted CDC director testifies before Congress about the turmoil at the agency. And two men convicted in connection with the death of a Nelson County mother learn their fate.
And all is quiet for now, but rain chances are in the forecast in the not too distant future. Details coming up.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Turmoil at the CDC takes center stage in Washington today as senators look for answers about the former head of the agency being fired in just 29 days. Former Director Susan Menarez testified before Congress today. WYMT Washington correspondent Brendan Cullerton breaks down that hearing.
Health Secretary RFK Jr. already testified before Congress this month. Now, the former CDC director he fired gets to tell her side of the story. Susan Menarez says it all comes down to science.
If someone is fired 29 days after every Republican votes for her.
Republican Bill Cassidy says it's important to learn what went wrong with a CDC director unanimously supported by Senate Republicans, fired almost immediately.
What happened? Did we fail? Was there something we should have done differently?
The White House says Menarez was fired for not upholding President Donald Trump's mission. Menarez says she was fired for refusing to pre-approve new vaccine recommendations without seeing scientific evidence supporting them.
I was fired for holding the line on scientific integrity, but that line does not disappear with me. It now runs through every parent deciding whether to vaccinate a child, every physician counseling a patient.
The committee also heard testimony from Dr. Deborah Oury, one of the senior officials who recently resigned from the CDC.
I resigned because CDC leaders were reduced to rubber stamps, supporting policies not based in science, and putting American lives at risk.
Republicans fired back, saying Menarez is anti-Trump and that she wouldn't listen to calls about looking into vaccine ages.
The burden should be on you. You want to make all the kids take this? The burden is upon you and the people you wouldn't fire to prove to us that we need to give our 6-month-old a COVID vaccine.
Menarez disputed those allegations and says she simply wanted to see evidence before approving new practices. Menarez says the stakes of the CDC battle are not theoretical, as the U.S. recently had the largest measles outbreak in 30 years, claiming the lives of 2 children. Reporting in Washington, I'm Brendan Cullerton.
Classes resumed today at Utah Valley University 1 week after conservative influencer Charlie Kirk was shot and killed on the school's campus. An increased police presence is visible on campus. The school has gone through a phased reopening with staff and faculty returning to campus Monday. A vigil for unity will be conducted at the school Friday afternoon. 3.5 years into Russia's war against Ukraine, peace is as far away as ever. One Republican congressman is calling on President Trump to do more to defend Ukraine against Russia. Nebraska Representative Don Bacon says he is a Ronald Reagan-style Republican who is deeply concerned about the future of the world order. He supports any legislative sanctioning of Russia and its allies, as well as arming Ukraine.
China and India are largely propping up the Russian economy, and they're propping up a war against a democracy. I'm the first Republican to get on a Democrat bill to discharge one, to force a vote on the floor.
Bacon went on to say he thought the U.S. would be impacted if Russian President Vladimir Putin continued down the current path. Bacon announced earlier this year he would not run for re-election in one of the country's most competitive swing districts in Nebraska. The Kentucky auditor claims an exam found that more than $800 million of taxpayer money was unnecessarily spent on Medicaid payments. Auditor Allison Ball released that information today. In her report, Ball said the $800 million of taxpayer money was wasted. The report says that DMS did not take the basic steps needed to not duplicate payments made by other states. Ball says the payments occurred between January 2019 and 2022. Well, not a bad Wednesday out there at all, but it sounds like we are in store for some warmer temperatures, maybe even downright hot as we get closer to the weekend. First Alert meteorologist Eric Dean has our first look at the forecast. Eric.
That's right, Steve. We are going to see that warming trend continue as we go into the second half of the work week. Some places tomorrow, especially across the Cumberland River area, could see highs in the upper 80s and low 90s. Right now we're at 79 degrees. Our dew point's at 54, so it's comfortable out there. We have a nice calm wind out there. At this hour, humidity is sitting at 42%. All is quiet on live pinpoint Doppler radar. We can give this a break for the next couple of days. It's when we get into Saturday that a stray shower or two is in the forecast. Temperatures right now 70s and 80s. Look at Somerset, 84 degrees, 84 in Monticello. Manchester's at 82, Whitesburg's at 79. Logan, good evening to you. You're at 77 degrees. If you have plans, make sure you have the WYMT First Alert weather app on your device, where you get the hour-by-hour forecast, where we see clear skies throughout the evening hours. 8 o'clock, we'll see temperatures in the low 70s, mid-60s by the time you join us for Mountain News at 11. But as mentioned, rain chances are in the forecast. We'll talk about that coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
Eric, thank you. Police in Southwest Ohio are looking for an escaped inmate who crossed the river into Kentucky. It's been more than 24 hours since 48-year-old Jerry Lee Cooper escaped from the Brown County Jail with another inmate Monday night. The other escapee, Roy Gene Butler, is back in custody, but Cooper is still on the run, believed to be somewhere in Mason County. The Mason County Sheriff's Office is working with Kentucky State Police and other agencies to find Cooper.
He come from Georgetown, Ohio, down and across the Ohio River here on a paddle boat. We've located the paddle boat and are currently still searching the cornfield that is right near the paddle boat.
Both inmates will now face new charges of escape. Police are asking folks in that area in northern Kentucky if they see something suspicious to call police immediately and do not approach the suspect. 2 men convicted in connection with Crystal Rogers' death were sentenced today. Brooks Houck was sentenced to life in prison for conspiracy to murder and 5 years for tampering with evidence. Joseph Lawson was sentenced to 20 years for conspiracy to murder and 5 years for tampering with evidence, with those sentences to be served consecutively. Stephen Lawson, Joseph's father, was sentenced to 17 years in prison earlier this year. Monday is the official start to fall, and that change in the seasons means we are quickly approaching flu season. Flu shots are becoming available across our region. Victoria Ware tells us about one way people in Huntington will be able to get their flu shot this year.
It's that time of year, rolling up your sleeve to receive an annual flu vaccine. Flu season begins in October, and although the influenza virus is spread year-round, it mainly hits in the fall and winter, peaking between December and February. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the flu is a potentially serious disease that can lead to hospitalization and even death. It's recommended that everyone 6 months and older get a flu vaccine every flu season. In preparation for flu season, the Marshall University School of Pharmacy will be hosting 2 immunization clinics. In a statement, the school says, flu, COVID-19, and RSV vaccines will be available. Insurance will be accepted and vouchers are offered for anyone who needs financial assistance. The first clinic will be held from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. September 29th in the Shockey Dining Room inside the Memorial Student Center. And the second will take place from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. October 3rd in the main lobby of Stephen J. Kopp Hall. Getting ahead of flu season with a flu vaccine. Victoria Ware, WSAZ, Huntington.
Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, Dollywood officials make a big announcement about a new ride.
And in the world of weather, all is quiet for now, but there are rain chances. Find out when coming up.